Welcome back to the Female Athlete Summit, the online platform for female athletes, coaches, and parents. I know you all have heard me say we have a lot of new speakers this summit, which I'm super excited about because I can learn from them as you are going to learn from them. So today I want to welcome success coach Jeff. Welcome to the call.
Hey, thank you. I really appreciate the opportunity to be a part of the summit, and I'm looking forward to our conversation.
Me too, because I always learn new stuff from new speakers. So because you are new, let's do a quick little background bio for all the speakers out there about yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. I've got quite a diverse background. I graduated from college with a focus on entrepreneurship, but I got into the banking. Actually, I graduated, got a great job opportunity to work at a bank, but I turned it down because I was a professional rodeo cowboy and I just wanted to go be a cowboy. So I did that. And then I eventually ended up going back to the banking industry. In 2005, I walked away from it and started my own manufacturing company. It was a manufacturing company that I ran until COVID shut us down. And so it was a nice 16-year run with a lot of experience that I gained in that. But I've also, for the last 20 years, I've been a basketball coach. And, I've learned a lot as a coach. And a lot of it was because from a young age, I started coaching my daughter, and I coached her all the way up until her senior year. And as I started to study things more in mindset and all the different areas that I'm focused on now, I realized if I knew then what I know now, I could have been a lot better coach. She could have been a lot better athlete, a lot of things like that. And so it's been a lot of fun. My whole family, we've always been involved in athletics. Both my brothers coach basketball as well. And, it's just been a really fun run. And the last little while, I've put a lot more, I'm a business coach, but I've been putting a lot more of my focus back into the athletic coaching. And I've got a program called the Confident Athlete Program that has just been so much fun, that I developed mostly through the need of things that were happening with my athletes during the pandemic, and depression, anxiety, motivation, all those things. And so I put this program together, and it's been great because right at this time I've got kids that 7th grade soccer player, she's doing awesome in it, all the way up to Division I football players. And it's been a lot of fun to work with the athletes in this program.
Yeah, I mean, during COVID, we all could use all the help we could get. Now, when you're working with the athletes, with the Confident Athlete, are you meeting with them live, or is it 100% online?
So I've got a few different ways I set it up. They do have a 6-module course that they go through on their own. And I've set it up, I didn't want it to be overwhelming where they've got a 3-hour video they've got to sit and watch. And so I've set it up into multiple sections where it's easy for them to get through each module in a week. But I've also made it, if you take 2-3 weeks to get through a module, that's okay. And then every Monday night, we have a group coaching call, which is fantastic when I get them all on there, but that never happens because of practices and stuff. But we have a group coaching call, and if they're not on, they get the replay of it. But it's an opportunity for them, 1, to ask questions, 2, to collaborate with each other, and 3, for me to do some more coaching. One of the best, my favorite one was one of the young athletes was asking a question to me, and one of my Division I football players just said, "Hey, can I answer this question for her?" And it was really cool to start seeing that interaction and the growth that was happening because of that interaction. So it's been a lot of fun. And then there are some that take another option and do some one-on-one coaching with me as well.
Nice. So with COVID in let's say the last year and a half, I feel like we're getting upon 2 years. What do you see as some of the top things that these athletes are dealing with?
You know what? I think the same thing that all the youth are dealing with is I've seen the rate of depression, anxiety, and all of those things just skyrocket. And one of the things that brought this really to the forefront was I was working with one of my clients, and she asked me to work with her son, who was, I think this year he's a junior. And for years, his focus is, I'm going to play college football. I'm going to the next level. And he's an incredible athlete. And when COVID first hit, and all of a sudden spring football gets canceled, and all the preseason stuff's all messed up. Then their season, they don't even know if it's going to happen. Then it gets delayed, shortened. All these things were happening, and he completely lost his drive and desire and motivation, and it was really sad. And that's when she asked me to work with him, and I've just seen a lot of it. You know, whether it's a complete loss of drive and motivation, or it's the ones that had a scholarship offer, and because of the eligibility given back to the existing players, they turn into preferred walk-on offers and stuff like that. The impact that it's having on them has been crazy. And so it's been good to work with them and help them keep some goals in front of them, help them keep the right mindset, and understand that they need to work and focus on the things that they can control.
Yeah. So, I mean, you touched on a few things, but again, for coaches or parents, and even athletes listening, what are some other like daily habits that these athletes, or really anyone, could use to kind of help them get a better mindset, create confidence?
Yeah. And that's one of the things I really work on them with, is I call them their daily success habits. And I tell them, you know, we're not going to make big chunks of things that you have to do every day, that it's a difficult thing to do every day. We're going to put in some things that are going to help you, that if you do them every day, the effects will compound and you're going to have a lot of big results. But they're the easy things to do, but they're pretty easy not to do as well. And so I got to get them committed to doing these things. And so we go through, I mean, it's the simple things, you know, of course, as athletes, they've got to take care of their physical stuff. They've got to take care of the physical side of their sport. But the mental side is this part that they struggle with and they don't know what to do. And so we go through processes of setting their goals and understanding their why behind each goal, so that they understand what the purpose is. And then doing simple things like writing out your goals every day. You know, I talk to them about how just focusing on their goals every day keeps it in their focus, and how their RAS, that's a long conversation on its own, but helps them to find the ways to solve those problems. And then I give them what I call my mindset questions. And one of the things there, and I do this with entrepreneurs, I do it with athletes, everything, it's valuable to anyone. I think the most valuable, there's two mindset questions that I think are the most valuable out of all of them. What are you grateful for today? And what are you going to do today to step out of your comfort zone? And the reason for that is, every time you step out of your comfort zone, it's obviously uncomfortable. But the next time you do that same thing, it's that much easier. And so if you're looking for opportunities every day to step out of your comfort zone is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And, you know, and some of these things are like, okay, I'm going to contact this coach today. And it's a hard thing for kids to do. They don't want to pick up the phone. They'd rather text or email or something. But when they've actually got to talk to a coach or talk to someone about recruiting or something, you know, it's a big step. But then the next time they do it, it's that much easier. So I like to teach them little things like that are just daily things that they can do that help them create a routine and create some habits that are going to keep them pointed in the right direction.
I like that a lot. I mean, I think the question, like, what are you grateful for today, is awesome, because obviously with everything going on in the world, I think sometimes people can miss the boat that there's still a lot to be grateful for.
Yeah. You know what? It's, what are you going to focus on, right? And a lot of the things that people are so upset about and ungrateful for, they're out of their control anyways. So why not focus on the things that you're grateful for, that you can have some control over, and put the rest behind you?
Yeah. You mentioned earlier you were a basketball coach for like 20 years. And when you started getting into like mindset stuff and all that, you would have changed a lot of stuff that you did with coaching. Just touch on a few things that you would have changed with your coaching and what's helped you.
You know, I think probably the biggest thing was understanding mindset. And the biggest one was understanding the difference between a growth mindset and a fixed mindset. And, you know, if you look at a fixed mindset, it's so focused on outcomes and not on development and learning like you would in a growth mindset. And, you know, using my daughter as an example, a lot of the goals that we set together with her were very focused on specific outcomes. I'm going to make this team, I'm going to do da da da, and not as much focused on the journey and what you're learning throughout the whole process. And I think, it's, with a growth mindset and a fixed mindset, you might have a growth mindset in one area and a fixed mindset in another, and they're going to be at different levels at different times. And so fortunately, it's not that she was very fixed minded and nothing else, but I think if I would have been able to instill more of a growth mindset in her, because I remember, we lived in Canada at the time. She made the Alberta team, and she was at the bottom of the list, and so she wasn't playing as much as she could have. And what's that learning experience, rather than being so upset about you're not getting the playing time or you're not one of the top players? What's the learning experience? What's going to drive you, and what can you take from that? So, and I think especially as coaches, understanding the growth mindset and how to work with your athletes and get them focused more on the experience and what they're learning from everything can take you a long way. Because it is sports, we're in it to win, right?
Yeah.
And so we get very focused on outcomes, but we've got to learn from everything along the way as well.
Yeah, no, it's funny how what you just said ties in per se, because I interviewed a couple basketball coaches, college, Division I, and they were saying right now it's more than basketball with everything they're trying to teach these girls. So that's just funny. Let's stick on confidence mindset a little bit more. How does self-talk help increase the confidence and mindset in athletes?
Self-talk is such an important thing that it can increase the confidence or it can destroy it. And really what self-talk is, most of our self-talk is just a series of questions and answers in our own head. Right now you're probably thinking, is that what it is? It's a question you're asking yourself and you're answering it. And so the problem with it would be great if we could say, okay, I'm never going to have any negative self-talk, but that's not real. You're never going to not have some negative self-talk. So the important thing that I work on with my athletes is recognizing when you start having that negative self-talk so that you can change it. Change the habitual questions you're asking yourself, and you're going to come up with different results, because your brain is just a mechanism to help you find answers. And so when you have negative questions that you're asking yourself, you're going to find the answers you're looking for. And so when you flip that, it's the same thing. When you're asking the right questions, rather than why me? Why did I miss that shot? Why can't I shoot? What are the questions you can ask to be taking you to the next level of success? And a lot of the times, like I said, it's recognizing that. This bracelet I have on here, it says stop, snap, switch. It's Tammy Matheny. I know she's going to be speaking. She teaches it with an elastic band. Just snap it on yourself to kind of, okay, I got to stop and switch what I'm thinking. So as we can control our self-talk and be more positive, it'll help us. Okay, sorry to get distracted here. This is just something I'm passionate about. You look at one of your star athletes in basketball, let's say, they miss a key shot. Well, they start having that negative self-talk in their head, and they go down to the other end and they foul a stupid foul because of everything that's happening in their head. And again, like what Tammy talks about is looking at, what's important now. Okay, that I can't change. I can't change that shot I missed. Now I'm going to get back on defense. What am I going to do now? And so I think the most important part is being able to be very conscious of our self-talk. And that's been actually one of the rewarding things in the Confident Athlete program, is when we get on our group calls and I'll have an athlete in whatever sport say, you know what, we played this weekend and I caught myself with that negative self-talk. And right in the middle of that, I was able to switch and change, and it had a more of a positive impact on the next play. And so that's what I really try to help them do, is start to recognize that self-talk that they're having.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's so important for anyone, whether they're athlete, kid, adult. You just need to recognize what you're doing. And then let's talk about body language and the effect it has on mindset and your confidence.
Yeah, it's the same thing as self-talk. It's a it's the fact that you need to start recognizing what your body language is. And I like to work through an example with my athletes and just say, okay, put yourself in a position where you're happy and excited. They sit up, their shoulders are back, their heads up and everything. And I say, okay, now get yourself in a sad situation and their shoulders are slumped, their heads down and everything. And then I'll say, okay, back to the happy one. And I tell them exactly how I want them to be sitting and their heads up, look up, put a big smile on your face. Now be sad without moving. And they recognize, I can't be in this posture and be sad. Your body language really has an impact on your feelings and the way you act and everything. And so you see it in sports all the time. Someone does something wrong, they hang their head, whatever their body language is, and they get subbed off, they go kick a chair or something like that. It just compounds. And if they can recognize that happening and they can force themselves to have proper body language, it's going to help them increase their confidence to know that they can, okay, next. And the other part is, I think that's a big part in leadership on sport teams as well. When you can make a mistake, everyone's watching you. You hang your head, you kick a chair, all those things. It says a lot about you and your character. But when you can show the body language that you're ready for the next play, everyone's watching that too, and they see that. And so I think, with our confidence and our mindset, when we can have strong body language, it's sending a message to other people, but it sends a big message to ourselves too.
Yeah, no, I think that's important. I mean, I graduated college 2003 and, very successful high school career. We had a great team, college kind of in the middle of the road. No one ever touched upon like mindset, confidence or anything. So I think it's so important for everyone listening. If they want to find out more about the Confident Athlete and the stuff you're doing, what's your website? Where can they find you on social media?
Absolutely. So the Confident Athlete program, you can get that at jeffheggie.com/confident athlete. And Jeff Heggie is JEFFHEGGIE. And I'm going to leave it on. It's on a special right now. So I'll leave it on that throughout your program so that everyone that's interested in that can get that special pricing. On social media, on Instagram, it's Jeff Heggie Coaching. It's actually Jeff Heggie Coaching on everything except Twitter is Jeff Heggie Coach.
Awesome. Yeah, we'll put a link to the Confident Athlete in the interview page so anyone can go check it out. Jeff, I really appreciate your time. Great insight on mindset and confidence. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And thank you for putting this together. This is such a valuable thing for these coaches and athletes.
Thank you.